So, welcome to the cyno and jumping class. Today we're going to talk about a lot of um, stuff about cynos and jumping and how that all works. We're going to go over, what types of cyno modules there are, which ships that can use them. I'll show you some live demonstrations on how to light a cyno, how that works. I'll also show you how to jump to stuff. So I'm going to be jumping a couple different ships. I'll jump a jump freighter, I'll jump some capital ships like a dreadnought and a carrier, and I'll show you guys how to use jump portal generators, which is like an area of effect thing, and you can jump a whole bunch of people at the same time. And I'll show you that with some covert op ships, so bombers, etc. So, Cynos, what are they? Well, Cynos, and it's kind of like setting up a teleport portal. That's kind of how it's a really easy term to compare it to that. You're just basically setting up like a beacon, like a cyno beacon, and you can teleport your ship from one end of space to the other. There is like a limited amount of range on that. It depends on the ship that you're using, but you can't magically teleport from one end of the map to the other. Sadly, that was possible back in the game when I started, but they removed that, and these days it's limited. Each time you jump, there's also like a it's called a jump fatigue timer, which basically also means that you won't be able to jump uh, all the time. Like you won't be able to jump 20 times in an hour or something. There's like see it as like a combat aggression timer thingy, and you'll have to wait that out before you can jump again. So that's changes that CCP made a couple years back to prevent people from dropping their really big capital fleets all the time from one end of the map to the other, and it's a bit more friendly at the moment. Not for, it hinders people that want to do that, but it also saves a lot of people in the sense of that they won't be invaded by really big blocks all the time. Um, yeah, so there's a couple different cynos uh, that you can use. You can use a cyno for industrial ships. There is also one that is for capital ships like dreadnoughts, carriers, super carriers, and the Titans. And then you also have one for covert ops ships, and I'll just quickly put all of them side by side here. There we go. So starting on the right here, yeah, Indie Industrial Cynos, or Indie Cynos for short. You can basically use those for two capital ships, or two capital ship types actually. One being a jump freighter, and the other one being um, a Rockwell. The Rockwell's a really big mining booster ship, and both of them can, they can jump to the industrial cyno. Uh, and you can move them across a large area of space, which is really cool. These Indie Cynos can only be fitted to a couple of different chips, so you can fit these to like a Venture, uh, surprisingly actually, and you can fit them to any type of hauling ship. So like an Iteron or a Tyra, like those are like T1 haulers, but you can also fit them to blockade runners or deep space transports, which are the T2 versions of uh, the the haulers, and you can just fit them, and then you can light the cyno, which I will show you in a bit, and then other industrial ships can jump to them. Really, really cool feature. Then you've got the normal cyno field, which has been in the field generator, which has been in the game for the longest, I think. You can use that to make a cyno beacon for capital ships. So any any carrier that you have, or dreadnought, or uh, super capital ship can jump to this cyno. And then lastly, you got the covert. Oh yeah, the normal cyno can actually only be fitted, if you look at the attributes, can only be fitted to force recon ships, which are the T2 uh, cloaky cruisers. So it's like the bigger version of, for instance, the covert op ships, like the bombers and the ships like the buzzard, the cloaky scanning ships, and Black Ops battleships, which in the ship tree are basically the biggest of the uh, covert op ships. So you can only use the normal cyno on those two ships. And then you got the covert cyno field generator, which is basically only used for moving covert op ships. So basically anything that can fit a covert ops cloaking device. So an Astero, a Stratius, any type of bomber, any type of other covert ops frigate, or the force recon ships and the Black Ops battleships, they can all just jump to this cyno. And there's also, of course, but and yeah, so the covert haulers, so the blockade runners, they can also fit a covert ops cloak, so they can jump to this cyno too. There's also like a limited amount of ships that can use the cyno field generator. It is like a lot more, but yeah. So the Black Ops, the Covert Ops, the Force Recon ships, because they're all in that tree of Covert Ops ships. If you got a strategic cruiser, so for instance a Tengu, if it is fitted with the Covert Ops module, then it can use the covert cyno field generator too, and of course the stealth bomber, and the prospect, which it's also a mining ship, of course, but I'll show you a fitting that's also used for hunting targets if you're in a covert ops fleet. So yeah, that's basically the different cynos types. Each cyno uses like a specific type of fuel. If you activate the module, it consumes a certain amount of liquid ozone. Liquid ozone you can get from mining ice and refining the ice, and then you get some, not all ice types, but some ice types give liquid ozone, and you can use that to fuel your cyno. Then in terms, of course, the ship that is teleporting to your cyno beacon also uses a different type of fuel, and it uses isotopes. And there's 4 different types of isotopes. Each one is for their own specific racial ships. So, for instance, if you look at the oxygen isotopes, um, you know, it's a Galente type isotope, so that's only used by Galenta carriers, by Galenta jump freighters, etc. And in this example, also for the Rorqual, because it uses oxygen isotopes. But yeah, and so then if you got like a Galenta carrier, like a Thanatos, that will use the oxygen isotopes. And then if you look at the nitrogen isotopes, which is a Caldari one, you'll have the Chimera, which is the Caldari carrier, and that will use those isotopes. So you can't really mix match them, because otherwise you won't be able to jump. Each jump also, like the the cyno modules themselves, they use like a fixed set of fuel each time. So if, for instance, if you look at the covert cyno, the base rate is like 500 units, and then normal cyno is of 50, and then the normal cyno is 500 units, and then the indie cyno is 800 units. If you got like there's a couple of skills that decrease that, and there's also a couple of ships, for instance, the Venture, that actually decrease the amount of uh, liquid ozone it uses to light the cyno. So that's basically always the same for every uh, cyno you light, but the fuel the ship uses to jump towards the cyno, that differs greatly actually, because that's affected by a range mostly. So if you look at the if you're going to look at the Eve map, uh, uh, you can see like how much light years that you're from one system to another, and that the number of light years basically determines the fuel that it uses. There's also a really cool website um, that you can use actually to uh, to calculate all of that. It's called Dotlan. Let me quickly try and get you an example of that. So if you go to the Dotlan website, I'll link it here, and there's a really cool jump planner tool on that, and you just need to, say for instance, um, I want to go from one system to the other. I'm just gonna set up a small, simple jump route, and I'm gonna link that here too. Yeah, so if you click on that second link in the voice channel, you can see an example of a jump route, and it basically shows you if I want to jump from one system to the other one, I need to do a jump in between, um, and then somewhere a little bit down to the bottom it shows you, it's like almost it's a little over 7.6 light years, or million light years, and it uses like almost 14,000 isotopes, and that's how you can basically plan in how you want to jump and how you need to set up your ships, etc. I'll go over that uh, in a little bit more detail later when we're going to jump the big ships. I'm at the moment I'm just going to show you how to light a cyno. So I'm first just going to show you a venture with the Indie cyno. I'm going to show you some stuff about that. So here we have a venture, really really simple ship, but really effective in the sense of that you can fit this really nice Indie cyno field generator on it. Um, you should have enough cargo hold available to use that actually, because if we're gonna look at the cargo, we have about 240 liquid ozone in there, which is uh, just a little over enough of what it needs to light the cyno. We're gonna show the info page here. So with the skills and with the venture, which I think it shows here actually, says here it has a 50% reduction in liquid ozone consumption, so that's really really good for us. So then it uses like only 200 units of fuel of ozone, so that's really good. So that means we can just fly this little ship somewhere. It's pretty quick to if you need to fly like 20 jumps and set up your cyno there, it'll get there really quick. It has enough ozone for at least one cycle, which is enough. And then you can just jump your ship there and, give your cyno pilot a little bit more ozone and then he can fly to the next system. So these things, you'll see that too when I light one. Uh, they kind of keep you stuck in place. So the module, for instance, this module, the Indie Cyno, has a cycle time of 10 minutes. You can see that here. There's basically no skill or booster or implant or whatever that decreases that time, sadly. So yeah, this little ship is going to be stuck there for 10 minutes. You won't be able to dock up, you won't be able to cloak up, and you won't be able to warp off. So you're going to be really a vulnerable target actually. Yeah, that's the downside of Cynos. So the other Cyno generators, they have different times, uh, that different cycle times. So I'm just gonna get those here too again, so you can see that. So the normal Cyno generator is well, normally it's 10 minutes, but I think if you fit it to the I'm just going to run the simulation on um, this Falcon here, which is a Force Recon ship. Yeah, it cuts it down to 5 minutes. Um, so like the normal Cyno generator is like 5 minutes, and then if I'm going to switch to a prospect, which I mentioned earlier, which is pretty decent in covert ops, blobs dropping. So if you want to go hunting with some friends and they're all in their bombers and covert ops, force recon ships or black ops battleships, then you can use this little prospect with its covert, its covert cyno field generator. You can just grab stuff, and then you can get in your fleet, and they will kill the target that you've caught. And then this one's actually the fastest one because it only lasts a minute. Um, so yeah, the Indie Cyno is 10 minutes. The normal Cyno is 5 if you fit it to the Force Recon ship, and the Covert Op Cyno is only 60 seconds. So that makes it you know, makes it really good for hit and run tactics, because it's only going to be keeping you in place for 1 minute, and then you can move on again and get safe. So we're just gonna uh, undock this prospect, and I'll show you, how to light a cyno and how that works. It's not really easy, but there are some things that you can do wrong actually. So yeah, we're undocking at the moment. I'll just stop the ship immediately. Um, the thing to do with this is if you light the cyno, the ships are going to be like teleported in an area around you, um, and you can see that area if you turn on the tactical camera, and then it's even better to put on the tactical overlay. So we're just going to do that. So you see, you get your tactical overlay, and the camera is always centered. And now if you hover over modules, for instance, the cyno field generator, you'll see like the area in which the ships will get teleported to you. So it's like 5 kilometers, and of course it's projected from where your ship is at. And if you look at where we are at the moment, that already poses like a significant problem because um, you know the circle, or the sphere, kind of collides with the structure, with the forters are at the moment. That means that there's like a 50% chance, kind of, that all of the ships that are teleporting to you are going to be, well, kind of okay, because they'll be in the the area over here to the left. But it's just random, so they could also be teleported, to the right, and then they'll collide with the structure, and then E physics kick in, and then you get like slingshotted or catapulted out of the structure. And normally, big ships like a jump freighter or a carrier are not supposed to fly 1,000 meters a second. So it's going to be really hard to stop the ship before you exit like tether range or anything. So if that thing keeps moving, it's you'll get out of the safety range of the structure, and you might get caught. So never do never just place it like this. Same goes for stations. So for instance, I am just going. Oh wait, I am just going to. What am I going to do? Yeah, I'm just going to take one of these. I'm just going to take this one. Same goes with NPC stations like this one. There's tons of collidable stuff on this one. If you just undock the ship and light it there, that's not good. If you put it here, that's not good too. Even looking at like the like dots around here that kind of like make a circle. So most of I think most of the ships exit here, and then if you light the cyno like at the undock of this structure, most likely that 5 kilometer sphere is going to also cover areas outside of the docking range. That's also not really a really good idea actually, because uh, your ship's going to be teleported there, but it's terribly slow to move back into the docking ring, and that's the time that other people take to catch you, and then you won't be able to do anything and you'll get shot. So always try to light your cyno inside of the ring. Use that really cool feature with the turning on the tactical camera and the tactical overlay. Just hover over your cyno module and you'll see if it collides with anything. So at the moment it's colliding, so I have made like a bookmark above the structure. I'm just gonna quickly go to there, and you can just keep hovering over it, and then at a certain point you see like, okay, now I'm clear, I'm not colliding with anything. And then you can press this button, and then if you press the button, which we're going to do at the moment, this really cool, very bright beacon, as you might call it, as we call it. It's a cyno beacon, lights up, and now people can jump to you. As you can also see that it doesn't shut off automatically. So what I mostly do is I light the cyno, I immediately like click it again to decycle it when it's done, and and as you can also see, I was tethered on the structure. The tether is gone. I also cannot dock at the moment, and I'm not able to warp off. So those are things that you can activate your modules. You can activate your armor repair or weapon systems if you have them. Of course, I cannot use a cloak, and I was not able to. I can move now, but well, yeah. Let's see. I'm moving now at the moment. No, I can't use the cyno now. But if you have your cyno up, you also can't move. So you're basically a sitting duck. I just use the covert cyno because it's really, it ends really quickly. Then it has like a reactivation delay, but it's it's just a minute. I think it's already done now. Also, if you're moving too fast, so for instance, if I'm just moving really fast, you won't be able to use it too, because you need to be flying at like below 500 meters a second. And if we do that, let's see if we just, it's gonna decycle. Yep. So if you're flying like below 500, which we're almost doing, and I light it, then the cyno is gonna be there. It's gonna stop your ship immediately because you're dead in the water. People can bump you. That's the thing. If you're familiar with uh, uh, player-owned structures like towers, like pulse towers, that they emit like a shield around them. So potentially you can light your cyno outside of the shield and have another ship bump you into the shield. That's possible. And then you're safe. You won't be able to light the cyno inside a pulse shield, sadly. So that's why people do that. Yeah, and you won't be able to see them trying to go places, but nope, you're not able to. Yeah, and if you keep this thing running, it's just gonna, it's gonna keep running until your liquid ozone runs out, and then it shuts down automatically. Yeah, so that's kind of the cyno thing. You do need to be in a fleet if you want to light a cyno, and then people can jump to you, and I'll show you that now too, actually, because
Docking request
we're gonna go and
accepted.
cover that too. Are there any questions up until now? Questions about the cyno modules themselves, or like ships, etc. You can just speak up, or otherwise just uh, post questions in the class voice chat too if you want to. Well, yeah. So which ships can jump to a cyno? Well, we already covered a couple of ships. So for instance, if you're using one of these uh, covert cynos, you can of course use them with like a deep space transport. Oh no, blockade runner like this one. So this is a normal uh, example of a blockade runner. It's a crane. It can fit the covert ops cloaking device, so it can jump to a covert cyno. If um, if you have a rorqual like this one, for instance, this one can jump to an industrial cyno. So you just light your indie cyno, uh, and then you can use the rorqual to jump that. And jump freighters like this one. This is the Caldari jump freighter. It's the rare, and we're gonna use this one uh, to jump to one of my other characters, and we'll jump two ships together, not at the same time, because that could be a problem too. Because I've shown you the sphere in which ships can be teleported in if you use the cyno module. So if the area is clear, that's all good, but the ships are going to be like teleported in randomly. So maybe if you jump two ships at the same time, that doesn't pose a real danger. But if you jump in like, I don't know, like more ships, say for instance 10, 20, because you can, they might spawn inside of each other, and then E physics kicks in again, and you get catapulted in all directions actually, and we don't want that. So if you want to jump multiple ships to the same cyno, just uh, keep a couple seconds between that. So we're going to be jumping this jump freighter. Um, at the moment, it is it's fueled up. It has the nitrogen isotopes. I always carry a little bit of liquid ozone so I can give that to my cyno pilot. Uh, yeah, but the jump freighter is just going to use the nitrogen isotopes in jumping towards the cyno. There are some really cool and handy modules that decrease the number of isotopes that you use, which are called jump drive economizers. Really cool things. Just going to show you this one. For instance, this one decreases the isotope consumption by 7%, and then you can fit 3 of them. You'll get like a stacking penalty, but it's always better than jumping without them. There's a couple different ones. I think you've got, let's see, this one is the most expensive one, the prototype jump drive, because it decreases it even more, and then you got the limited jump drive economizer, um, which where did I got it? Here it is. It's less. It's only 4%. But yeah, if you jump a lot, then at least a set of any of these is really good to have, actually. So I'm just gonna switch out my cargo hold expanders to use these, and now I use less isotopes. Of course, you'll have you're not going to be able to fit the cargo hold expanders and uh, the jump drive economizers at the same time, of course. So I usually do this when I'm either empty, like now actually. I just have a couple of uh, a couple of fitting modules in here for this ship. Uh, or if you have a cargo that is less than 180,000 M3, then you're all good to use these two actually. Or you can just mix match. You can just, of course, put in one of the expanded cargo holds and use those two economizers. That's all good. So how do we jump then? Of course, first you want to undock. So we are going to undock. Um, and then I'm going to go over some safety tips for jumping in general, actually. So I'm just undocking, just going to stop my ship. I think my other jump freighter is undocking too. Oh, but it's undocking in a different exit, actually. It's here. So we got 2 jump freighters here at the moment. So what can you do? Well, potentially you can already jump, because there's also stuff in the game um, that doesn't require a cyno module, but it's kind of like a fixed thing in place. We already have a really good example here, actually. This one's 6 jumps out. This is what we call a cyno beacon. So this isn't. Oh wait, this is a jammer. That is not the one. This is the one. This one's further out, but yeah. So this is like a cyno beacon. You can just anchor this thing in place if you like. You can only do this in nullsec if you own the solve. You can just put this thing into place. It's going to be up 24/7. You'll have to put the jump, the liquid ozone inside of its fuel bay, and then people can just jump to it. But that's also the danger, actually. I don't know if I can jump to one. I can actually. So sometimes some of these cyno beacons are set up like a free port. You can set up a structure like a free port, but also like a cyno beacon. And that cyno beacon doesn't really need to be friendly. So it could be, there's a couple really big nullsec entities in game, of course, like Pandemic Horde, Goon Swarm, etc. Maybe Pandemic Horde has a cyno beacon that is available for you. If you're not aligned with Pandemic Horde, if you're not friendly with them, then it's not really a good idea to jump to it, because most likely they just set that thing up so that they can catch unsuspecting jump freighter pilots, and maybe it's bubbled. Maybe there's people that watch if people use the beacon and they catch you, and that then you lose your ship. So never just use one of those cyno beacons if you don't have eyes on it. You know, you can just send one of your alt characters, or you can have a buddy, just let him fly over there, let him do some scouting, check, you know, let him check if the beacon is clear. If you know, if you want to use it, you can. But yeah, and then then just jump to it. There's a couple ways, of course, to jump to things. As you already saw, I right-click the capacitor here, and then it shows you options to jump to. So for now, we got these two cyno beacons. Both of them are probably good for me to use, but I'm not going to. So and I'm gonna light a cyno now too, and I'll just have to undock one of my characters, and you can see that it'll add an extra option actually. So you're not seeing that at the moment, sadly, but yeah, I'm just gonna do the same thing as I did with the prospect. I'm using a venture at the moment, of course, with the indie cyno. I'm just gonna move it into a position that it creates the cyno field so it doesn't collide with any of the structure that I'm about to jump to. And then you can jump to it. So for now, I'm also gonna already do another really good thing that is at least a safety net for yourself. So this guy is going to be my cyno, so I know that. I'm just going to right click his name, going to go to fleet, I'm going to add him to watch list, and I will tell you in a little bit why I did that. So at the moment the cyno is in position because I have eyes on my other monitor, my other screen. I can see that the local channel, so this local channel here, it's blue over here, but it's also blue over in my target system. So if I see any neutral characters in local, if I see red characters, then it's not the best idea to do a jump, because when you light the cyno, it's going to show up on the overview here actually, and then anyone can just oh, there's actually already one up. That's a really good example. One of my buddies is using a cyno, so that's really cool. So we can see that he is also using a venture. He has his industrial cyno field up at the moment. You can see it's a different color. The covert cyno was like green bluish. The indie cyno is a little bit more yellow, orange, red. And as you can see, it shows up on my overview. It could be, you can see this from all across the other end of the system, and you can just right click it and warp to it. So not only are you stuck in this position for 10 minutes with this cyno, people can just jump to just warp to you and just lock you up, insta shoot you, and your cyno's dead. With the venture, that's not really the biggest issue, of course, because it's not the most expensive one, but still a real bummer. But if you're using like the Force Recon cynos, use a Force Recon ship as a cyno, then you're talking something 200 plus million ISK. So yeah, then you're gonna lose a whole lot more stuff. So yeah, my cyno's in position. I'm going to already click the cyno, so the cyno is up. And if I now right click on the capacitor here, and see, so now you can see that there's a fleet cyno up. There's a good distinction there, though. The name is fleet cyno. It's not beacon. There's also like a line between the options, and you can see who you are jumping to. Your fleet can have as many cynos up as that you want. Actually, it could be 100 cynos up, and then you can just choose from here who it is that you want to jump to. Of course, I can click this one, but maybe maybe if I want to do stuff a little bit quick and I'm not really paying attention, I accidentally click on the ARG one, and I don't want that. So I don't want this this accident waiting to happen. So that's why I put him on the watch list, because now I can just quickly right click his name and click on this option and say jump to member. You can of course also just right click on the name, go to fleet, and then jump to member, but I most of the times I want to be gone instantly when I've lit the cyno. So I'll first let the other ship cyno out, so you can see what happens when a ship jumps, because it's a really cool animation actually. So I'm gonna have my other jump freighter jump towards the cyno character, and he's gonna jump right now. And then you can see it's like a really cool animation, and poof, and it's gone actually. And now it's teleported to the other system, and from there it'll have to dock up. So I'm gonna do that first, and then I'll jump myself, because that is another really important tip actually. You need to dock up straight away. And I'll really quickly jump myself and hope everything goes okay, because I've just ignored, oh no, I haven't ignored my own advice. The system is clear. So I'll just wait here a little bit just to explain what's happening now. So you've jumped, and now there is something called you're tether blocked, because you haven't moved yet, because you've changed location, and that's like a minute timer. Like if I think even if I do start moving, I'm still tether blocked for another couple of seconds. So we don't like that. So we just dock up as fast as possible, because during that time that we've transitioned, we've gone from one system to the next, and we're just hanging there in space. We're not really safe. We're not tethered to a structure or anything. That's the time when accidents happen and you get caught. And jump freighters are not really cheap. I think jump freighters go for about, I don't know, how much is this one worth according to the, well, it's got a couple of, expensive cargo hold expanders, but it's about 10 billion ISK these days. But I think when I started flying jump freighters, they were around 5 to 6 billion ISK, maybe even less. The price has increased a lot. Oh, and to quickly go over it, we'll see that more. That's the jump reactivation timer, which was really short now. So I jumped, and what I explained earlier was the jump fatigue, and that's actually what you can see here too, actually. So the jump fatigue timer, what is that? Anytime you jump from one place to another, even if you use a jump portal generator, for instance, a portal generator which can be used by a Titan, or Vorpal can even use a generator, you also get jump fatigue, and it basically prevents you from jumping all over the map all the time. You're already limited by range, so each normal capital ship can jump like 7 light years. The jump freighters can jump to a max of 10, which is affected by what's it called, jump drive calibration skill. There's a couple of, I'll just quickly show you those two. So you've got jump drive calibration, which you already need for flying the ships in the first place. But yeah, that increases the the maximum jump range. So that's a really, really good skill to have. And then you should also have, what's it? Jump fuel conservation, which basically reduces the amount of isotopes that you consume each time that you jump. So I think we started off with something like, somewhere around 150,000 nitrogen isotopes, and we're now at like 130-ish thousand. So we used about 15 to 20, like 20,000 isotopes in that one jump, which is fine, that's not really really expensive, but you need to manage that. Be sure to always have your isotopes. So if you go back to that jump fatigue timer, you can basically see the time it takes for you to move out of that fatigue timer completely, and it also shows you all the way at the bottom, like if you jump now, the next jump reactivation timer will be between like 1:17 and 2 minutes, and that was the red timer that I showed you really shortly before too. That's the timer that you aren't able to jump. Like this is just like a soft timer, the jump fatigue timer, and that just determines how long your other timer is. So the red timer that in the time that you are not able to jump, which will be like, as you can see, as the clock is ticking down, the minimum time decreases too. There is like a exponential increase in growth of this timer actually. So if I were to jump now, it's going to be, it's going to increase by the normal amount, and then a little bit more. And then if I keep jumping, I'll eventually end up with a very long jump fatigue timer, and I think the maximum amount of the jump reactivation timer is about 25 to 30 minutes. So that means that if you're at max jump fatigue, it's going to take you like 30 minutes between each jump to jump again. So you'll have to wait someplace and wait out that timer. And then, it is, of course, as Mia mentioned, also explained on the wiki. But yeah, I usually let this timer go down to about 10 minutes, and then I jump again. And then the exponential buildup is not that much, or at least not actually. You will get like an increased jump fatigue timer again, but it won't be exponentially higher. So 10 minutes is kind of the safe spot for me. So we've jumped with these two jump freighters. Their jump fatigue timer is reduced significantly if you compare it to like a normal capital ship. It also says so here. So there's a 90% reduction to the distance traveled for calculating the jump fatigue. So that's really good. So that means that that also counts for the Rorqual, by the way. That also has the same stats. Rorqual also has the same jump range, also 10 light years. So if we're gonna look at like this one, which we're gonna jump now actually, because I'm on my 10 minutes. This is a Phoenix Navy issue. It's a dreadnought. If we're gonna look at the info page for this, no, there is no there's no note here that it has a decrease in jump fatigue calculation. So that means that if you use this one, which we will, it's gonna significantly increase this timer actually, and also your red timer. So I'm just gonna jump a couple of them, just because we can actually, and because it's fun to do. Um,
Docking request
these
accepted.
things, as I've already, I think I mentioned it before class, but um, you can also just use like a capital ship like this as a hauler if you want to, because you can just put fitted ships in them, which I'm just gonna do just as an example. Um, so it's got a ship maintenance bay. I got a whole bunch of ships here that I just wanna move them. So I'm gonna move some small ships, some uh, I don't know, just a couple stuff. Yeah, just let's do this. That'll be good enough. So you can just use this as a kind of a suitcase if you want to call it like that. Put stuff in there. Move like your entire PvP fleet together with your capital ship to a new staging. Just deposit it there, and then you're good to go. So I'll grab the other um, capital ships here too that I want to move, because I'm going to move 3. And I've already used the Dotlan website. I've checked where I want to go. I've already set up my cyno there, and I am going to jump to this system, XVTAC, and there is a friendly Fortizor here. So if I look at this, these people blue with me, I can use this Fortizor. Otherwise, it wouldn't also be in this in the search results. And uh, capital ships like this can only be docked in Fortizors and upwards. So um, the jump freighter can basically be docked in any structure. So also smaller structures like an Asterhus or an Athanor or a Taru. You're perfectly fine to um, yeah, yeah. You can also use the service page, of course, um, if you wanna see if you can dock there. But you can dock the jump freighter basically everywhere, uh, but not the normal capital ones. You can though dock them in NPC stations in low-sec and null-sec, because there's also null-sec NPC stations. But yeah, for this example, we're gonna jump to this Fortizor, and we're gonna dock up. So I've already put up my Cyno character. At the moment, the system is empty, which is good. I'll already put my Cyno in position, and then we're good to go. We are already going to undock the 3 ships that we want to move. So I'm already undocking of uh, all those characters. I'm gonna go towards the. I'm gonna move the Cyno in place. It's gonna take a couple seconds, not too long. But I don't want to accidentally mess up and have these things collide with a structure. So we've undocked, which is gonna stop all of the ships. I think all of them use different exits again. So we got one of them over here. Oh, there's two of them really cozy over here that are doing a thing. It's funny that if they collide like this, then there's no harm done. But if they spawn inside of each other, then yeah, then there's an oopsie. So the Cyno is in place. Um, we are going to jump to a different character this time. So we're going to drag this one, and we're going to drag it into the watch list again, because we don't want to accidentally jump to a beacon, because that's not gonna end well for us. So that one's in place, system's clear. We are going to activate the normal cyno, and then you'll gradually see these guys already use the cyno and jump to it. So that's one, and that's gonna dock up, because I want to dock up first, and then I want to move the other one.
Docking request
So that
accepted.
one's docking up, and then I'm gonna move the next one. Now that one's gonna go too, as you can see. And now that has landed, we can jump to. So we're just gonna right click here, jump to this guy. System's still safe. And as you can see, we're going into the jump tunnel.
Docking request accepted.
And we're here. And we're just quickly already gonna
Docking request
dock up.
accepted.
Because then we know our ship is safe. You know, it's not going to be safe sitting outside with that really pesky tether thing. We're just gonna, just quickly gonna get a small ship. I'll just undock. I'll show you the Force Recon ship that I use to move all these ships here, and then I'm gonna, talk about this red timer again that has appeared at the top of my screen. So yeah, so if you if you look at the cyno we used, it kind of has the same type of color a little bit. It's now blue, I think, but I used a Falcon for it. I got the fitting here actually. You can fit these things basically anyhow that you like. Actually, you just need the cyno field generator. That's what you need. I fitted this one for max EHP. If I'm gonna simulate this one, um, it's got decent amount of tank. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna survive. If people want to shoot stuff and kill it, and they'll still do it, but it's pretty decent. As you can see, it can also fit multiple cynos, so it can fit the normal cyno and the covert one. You won't be able to use them at the same time, but you can activate them one by one if the other one runs out. So the jump reactivation timer. So we've jumped. I think it told me that it was about 2 minutes-ish. I think at the moment it's already, it's at 50%. So it was like 4 minutes. So during this time, I won't be able to jump at all. And as you can see now, jump fatigue timer has moved from, I don't know, I think it was about, it was below 10 minutes. Maybe it was 7. I don't really remember. Maybe 5. So it has significantly increased this time. So now it's 44 minutes. Doesn't necessarily say that that you can not jump during those 44 minutes. But once this red timer is done, the next time, if you jump again, then you get a 4.5 minute-ish jump reactivation timer. So, and that gradually increases by quite a lot, actually. As you can see, we also have a very nice neutral pilot in system, which is always something to look out for. At the moment, we are on 40-ish seconds on our timer. So hopefully this lovely, this, don't know the guy, but hopefully he's not going to mess with our cyno, otherwise I'll lose it probably, or just try and kill the aggressor. That's also an option. And then once the once the cyno is done, actually, we'll just wait for that because we're waiting here anyway. Once the cyno is done, you'll automatically tether again on the structure, which means you are safe, which should be now, which is really good because I like this cyno and I like to use it some more. Um, you can also just there's a different thing that you can do actually, which is really cool. I mean, if you use the Falcon with its normal cyno or the COVID op cyno, it's of course a little bit less time compared to the Indie cyno, the industrial one, which is 10 minutes. You can just uh, light your cyno on the Venture or the hauler or whatever, and then just right-click the structure that you are, uh, that you're cynoing on, and just set it as your destination, and then turn the autopilot on. And what that does is actually, like the cyno's up, you're not able to dock, but as soon as that cyno is down, you'll dock automatically. And of course, you are already tethered, but in the case of like an NPC station where there is no tether option, you could just, set the desto, put the autopilot on, with the autopilot button or with the Control plus S buttons, and then you could just let that cyno stay there. If a Venture gets attacked, there's not much EHP on the Venture, so you'll probably lose it. So you could just walk away, grab a cup of coffee, hope that it survives, and it'll dock up automatically. So you can, you can forget about it, quote unquote. I wouldn't forget about a Falcon though, because that's more expensive. That's jumping capital class ships somewhere. I'm just gonna leave them here for now because this is one part of the trip that I want to make. I'm just gonna leave them here. I will move them later. I'm gonna dock up
Docking request
also for
accepted.
now,
Docking
and I'll
request
show you
accepted.
the last bit of what I wanted to cover, which is jump portal generators. And for that, I'm gonna move back to the system that we were, but I'll just, you know, um, I'll just jump clone there. So then we don't have to jump all the way back. So we're just gonna install a clone here. Gonna switch to that clone. And always takes a little bit of time. Now we've switched, and I've set the place where I was coming from as home station, and I can just self-destruct and go there. And that's a really nifty way to move across space without jumping. And now we're back here, which is good. I'll move one other character there, so we can do a little bit of a field test. So, um, jump portal generators, completely different thing actually. Um, there's a couple of uh, there's a couple of different ones. I'll put them down here. So we got the covert one, we got the industrial one, and we got the normal one. Basically, the same type of flavors as the cyno field generators, but they work quite differently actually. So these kind of emit like an area of effect, and then you can jump an entire fleet of ships. Actually, you'll have to be within um, 2,500 meters, and then you can use the you can jump with the fleet. I see a question in chat if why did I prefer the Falcon? Um, I think I prefer the Falcon because it looks nice and because I can get the really nice amount of EHP out of it. I can fly all of them basically, all of the different Force Recon ships, but for some reason I just fly the Falcon. Uh, maybe because I like it, yeah, I like it the most and in an aesthetic way, I think. But yeah, I think the other ones are good too. Uh, I don't really have any fittings for them because I'm not really familiar with how to properly fit the other ones. But uh, I no, I don't think I have other ones than the Falcon actually to show you, sadly. But yeah, you know, another Force Recon ship is just as good to use, so just use the one that you fancy the most actually. So yeah, you need to be within like 2,500 meters, otherwise you'll miss out um, on the generator. The covert jump portal generator, you can only fit that to Black Ops battleships, like the one that I'm flying at the moment. I'll show you that in a little bit. And you can only uh, have other uh, covert ops cloak enabled ships fly with you through the jump portal. Asteros, Stratioses, any covert ops ship, any bombers, etc., any Force Recon ship, and the likes of that, and of course cloaky haulers. You can do that. Then you got the industrial jump portal generator. You can actually only fit this to the Vorkwall, uh, and then you can basically uh, what you can jump with it is industrial ships, mining barges, and the porpoise. And they can be, they'll also have to be in your fleet, of course. And if they're within the range of the ship, you can like conduit jump them, as we call it, and move them as a fleet together. Sadly, ships like the Orca, uh, you won't be able to move them with the industrial jump portal generator. Would be really cool, but no, CCP did not implement that. So just industrial haulers, mining barges, and the porpoise. And then we're coming up to the the normal jump portal generator, which has been in the game for longer than I have played actually. And this one can only be fitted to a Titan. These are used to move entire fleets of hundreds of people. I think a fleet can be somewhere up to 250 people max, and then your fleet is full. Um, and at that point, if you have more than 250 people, then you have a different fleet up, a separate fleet which has its own Titan, or you switch the Titan between fleets. That's also an option, but mostly you'll have multiple Titans for multiple fleets. Each and any ship can use the normal jump portal generator. It will like consume stuff, I think, for each ship that's going through. But yeah, you can really send a massive amount of people through with these. Really essential for a lot of nullsec groups actually, with nullsec warfare, etc. You can of course also use that in lowsec, but I for surprise effect maybe. Otherwise, you can just fly your fleet there. Nullsec is also prone to having warp disruption spheres up with, I don't know, mobile ones that are deployed, or there are interdictors flying around, so then it's a little bit less easy for large fleets to go into a system because they'll get, you know, caught by the interdictors and you'll have a hard time going through that. So that's why we use the jump portal generator. We just skip all the gates and we go directly where we want to go. Um, how that is used actually, one person lights a cyno like we've been doing all the entire time actually, and then the ship with the uh, jump portal generator on it can uh, right click the character that has the cyno up and then say conduit jump to, and then it basically takes the entire fleet with him. Um, we're pretty good to go on jump fatigue timer. We're just gonna do this jump and then we'll go into some. You can also activate the bridge and then people can jump through by right clicking on the Titan, of course, or the battle Black Ops battleship. Um, but for this test, we're just gonna do conduit jump. I got a character in a bomber and I have my Black Ops battleship here. Um, the meta on Black Ops battleships is always that uh, the Amar one is still the best, I think, which is I think the Redeemer. I at the moment am flying a Panther, which is the Mimitar one. I don't want to say that this is the best fitting, but this is my fit. Um, it has the covert jump portal generator fitted to it. It also has the field generator for if I need to um, uh, be a cyno. Maybe you are in really bad luck and you lose a cyno pilot during your blobs drop, and then I am the backup cyno. Stuff like that. You don't necessarily need to have the covert cyno fitted to be able to use the jump portal generator. Yeah, the rest of the fitting is just you know, whatever your alliance or corp or coalition says that the doctrine is. This is one of the fittings that were provided. I'm just using that one, and I fitted the jump portal generator because I want to be a helpful member of the fleet. So we're going to undock this one. We are also going to undock the bomber frigate that's gonna conduit jump with us. Um, and I'll have to quickly uh, check if there might be a different system to conduit jump to, because there's still a neutral there. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna, most of the times, if you're doing a Black Ops battleship fleet or blobs drop, as you want to call it, you just sit on the undock of your staging, like I am now, and then all the other ships they're just keeping at range of you. The way to do that is, but I'm just going to keep this one stationary, but you can just, if you go into your overview, you can just right click here and say keep at range 1,000. That's good, you don't really want to be humping the Black Ops battleship because you can bump it around and that's not really friendly. So I'm probably gonna bump my own Panther a little bit because I need to close in a little bit, but hopefully I won't bump it a lot. It's gonna be, yeah, see, I bumped it a little bit. It's okay. And this one will just, keep its distance, and that's good. Oh, okay. So at the moment I see that the system is clear, so that's really, really good actually. Um, so, um, th this guy is in position. I think the cyno is also in. Is this good? Yeah, we can. This is good. It's inside of the docking range, which is good. So, a word of note though, like the other cynos, they take a little bit longer. That one is 5 minutes, one is 10, so you got a little bit more time to do all the things that you need to do. This one's 1 minute. So we have, let's see, we've lit the cyno, or I have lit the cyno there. And now we can just right click the member, and we can, we can do jump to member or conduit jump to member. So we can also do bridge to member. And then if I do bridge to member, then my little bomber frigate can right click the Panther and say jump to and then system name. For now, we're just going to do a conduit jump, and that kind of looks like that. And then you can see you're jumping with one extra character, and now you've jumped 2 ships at once to one uh, beacon. So here's the little nemesis that we brought along, and this is the Falcon, which has already run out of its timer actually. So now it's good, but you still have the location change timer. We're not tethered yet, so what do? We want
Docking
to dock up.
request
So we're going to do
accepted.
that right now with the ships that just conduit jumped in.
Docking
And
request accepted.
yeah, so we've moved. Um, if you were flying in a bomber fleet, uh, you've now just jumped onto an unwilling target, and most likely it would already be dead now. And that's how that works actually. So you just warp the entire fleet, and that's also how it works with the Rorqual. You can just conduit jump the Rorqual and any mining barge or industrial ship that is near it. You can jump it to one location, or you can use the bridge function, of course. And in the case of the Titan, you rarely see the Titan conduit jumping in with the fleet because that one stays behind, and it's ready for the backup fleet. Nullsec fleets are also prone to, you know, uh, stuff gets blown up, uh, pods get shot down, you spawn back into your home station, you reship, you undock again, you keep range of the Titan again, like you right click it, say keep at range 1000, and then in intervals, the FC will send in reinforcements through the Titan. So that's how that works actually. Um, Another thing that could happen, what happens when either your cyno pilot disconnects and you haven't jumped yet? The thing is that if, the cyno pilot has to be in your fleet for you to be able to jump to it or conduit jump to it or whatever. And if it's outside of the fleet, you won't be able to do that. But if it rejoins the fleet, it still has that disconnection, so you're still not able to jump to it again. Also, if you join the fleet later than the time that the cyno was up, then you won't be able to jump to the cyno either. You need to be in the fleet before the moment that the cyno is lit, and then you can jump to it. So that's a good piece of advice to people that, if you light it in enemy territory and you join later, then there's going to be an oopsie maybe. And talking about oopsies, oh yeah, Mia has a another note in the in the chat. Uh, True, yeah, yeah, um, uh, that's true. And talking about oopsies, what happens when stuff goes wrong? Well, stuff like this can happen, and I'll just put it on screen here. This is a long time. A lot. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. This is not so long ago, actually. I have others that are also longer, but I don't have the kill map here though. But this basically happened when I was moving this camera, and I was moving it to stations where I could not dock. So as I've told the capital ships like carriers, dreadnoughts can only dock in fortizars or you know the normal NPC stations. If you go up to super carriers and titans, they can only dock in keep stars. So if you want to try that, then please don't jump to um, a a, a fortizar, because you won't be able to dock it and you'll die horribly, uh, most likely. So what I did was I positioned the cyno on an astrahus, which is a small, like a smaller sized upwell structure. So my plan was to, I've looked at the system. System looked clear, not really anything interesting. I I lit the cyno on the Falcon. I made sure that it was in tether range of the Astrahus. The Chimera like teleported, jumped towards the the cyno. All good up until that, and then you get that uh, tether block timer that I've shown you. So like the what was it? Like 30-second timer or something. And what happened was while I had that timer, there was one interceptor that came into system and that saw the cyno on his overview, and he warped to it, and I had like literally 2 seconds left before I would have been tethered, and it put a warp scram on me. And without being able to dock or whatever and being warp scrammed, I couldn't jump back out again. I was like dead in the water, and then of course his complete collection of friends, which I think I think they, yeah, I think they sent a couple of. No, no, I didn't. It wasn't even a COVID ops drop actually. Just sent in a whole bunch of his friends, and came to. Um, you won't be able to. There's a question in the class voice. It's once you get tether again, don't everyone lost lock? It kind of works the other way around. Even I'll just I can just show this to you with a small ship. Quickly show you how tether works at that point. Um, so um, there's two things actually. So one, I was of course trying to kill a couple of these guys. I think I killed uh, two of them. I think um, two of the smaller ones. I think with fighters. But uh, once you are, if you are locked onto something, like at the moment, do I have tether? No, I don't have tether yet. I have tether now. So for instance, if I lock onto something, for instance, just the Fortizar itself, I lose tether. So if I have locked up another ship, no, I don't have tether. But also if somebody else has locked onto me and has put a warp scram on me, it doesn't matter if I have somebody locked or not. You won't get tether because you are warp scrammed. Um, and that's how that works actually. And then you will only be able to tether again if somebody helps you remove the scram or a warp disruptor off of you, and then you will uh, tether up again. So I'm just gonna unlock the target, of course. Um, so yeah, and then yeah, all his buddies came, killed me. I was smart enough to use the what's it called again? What's it called? The deposit function to put all of the ships that I had in my ship maintenance bay into the structure. So if you're ever in, this is a very unfortunate. I did lose a couple of stuff though, but this is very unfortunate if you lose this. But if this happens to you, then the first thing you do is you press this little button here, open cargo deposit, and then just go to your, you know, your cargo hold, select everything, put it in there, say transfer, and done. And then at least everything that that you were carrying with you is safe inside that structure, but you'll sadly lose
Docking
your
request
ship.
accepted.
This is quite impressive fleet at least, and I was not really close by to any other people that could respond quickly enough. So yeah, I sadly lost it. I also yeah, so that's be careful with the structure that you cyno on top of. Another unfortunate event was this. This was a longer time back, um, where I lost my jump freighter. As you can see, the total worth is a historical, and it was way less back in the day. The price of a jump freighter, because I was even carrying some stuff actually. So yeah, what happened here was I was careless actually. I positioned my cyno and I put it in place and I lit the cyno. And at the time that I lit the cyno, another ship, I think it was a Force Recon ship actually, undocked, and and I was like, well, it's just one guy, what's gonna happen? I was like, if I jump quickly enough and I dock up quickly enough, then I'm good. And I had already been jumping like a couple times. I was, getting a bit, how do you call it? I just wanted to get the job done, so just wanted to finish up, and I jumped. And while my character was in the jump tunnel towards the system, the the Force Recon ship lit his normal cyno, and this lovely Nyx appeared. Nyx is the Galente supercarrier, and it can use heavy fighters. So normal carriers use light fighters. These use a tad bigger ones. They deal a lot more damage. At the time, as you can see by my fitting, I was just I was just using cargo hold expanders. I don't even know that I, I could have just used something else because I wasn't really hauling a whole lot of stuff actually. So I could have just used uh, bulkhead extenders, which increase the structure hit points, but no, I did not. I used these, and I was spamming the button to dock, but not first actually. At first, I just wanted to try and tether on the structure, but that didn't really work. And then I started spamming the dock button, but that was too late actually, because this Nyx, I don't know the fitting of this Nyx, but well, it locked me up instantly. I think the jump freighter is a extra large ship, so it doesn't really take a whole lot of time to lock it up, I think, but probably was had a sensor booster or something on it too, because it locked me up like instantly. It had its fighters out instantly, and it just shot me in one blow actually. So that's all it takes to lose a jump freighter. Just be careless, uh, ignore your normal spider sense, as you might want to call it, and just be a little bit dumb, or at least I thought I was a little bit dumb. So I just lit a cyno knowing that there was a neutral guy even on grid with me, and he lit his cyno, and I died, or at least the ship died, not the character, but yeah. So that's things not to do. So be sure that you can dock your yeah, like normally speaking, be sure that you can dock your ship in the structure that you're going towards. Uh, Also be sure that there's no red people, no red pilots, no neutral pilots in system or even on grid with you, because that is not advised. And uh, yeah, there's one thing that that we haven't covered is what to do if you want to uh, move capital ships through systems that have no docking access at all. So maybe you've looked at the um, yeah the Mia says there's um, a what do you call it, a module that you can use on the character on the carrier that can significantly increase your locking speed. So that's a carrier only thing. That might have also been why I was insta locked, But yeah, so what happens when you've looked at Dotlan, there is no other way for you to move across the area that you need to go to, and you need to do a cyno jump in a system where you either don't have docking access at the structures that are there, or there are simply no structures at all. I let me check if I can. Um, does this have a? Oh wait, I think I have my own ship here. Yeah, of course. I'll just go in there. So what do you do then? Um, well, um, I haven't even covered that actually. Uh, each time that your capital ship jumps, or the jump freighter, but you can always, that's decent enough to just jump somewhere. But if a capital ship like this jumps, it uses like almost all of its capacitor uh, for the jump, and then you won't be able to jump again unless you have 75% of capacitor again, uh, and otherwise you won't be able to jump at all. If you're doing like a normal jump for this example, a Fortizor to a Fortizor, the capacitor regenerates instantly the moment you dock up in the Fortizor, and then you can undock again and go about your way. But you won't be able to do that when you're in space. So what you'll do is that, like, this is the combat fit for this ship. If you really want to move it, then I would suggest, fitting some stuff differently. You could, for example, just remove the siege mod for now, because you're moving it. I'm not intending to use the siege module, so we're just going to unfit that. And we're going to fit one other vital piece of hardware, which is a cloaking device. So we are just going to fit one of those to it. That's good enough for now. And all this tank is really good. Uh, always good, but we want to regenerate that capacitor as quickly as can be. So at the moment we have one capital capacitor booster, and I want two. So for instance, I'm just going to remove this one. Uh, I don't even know if I can fit another one of these, but we're going to see. Just trying to improvise this fitting a little bit. And here we go. Can we fit it? Yeah, we can fit one. That's great. And then we can just fill that with more of the cap boosters. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, you can put as much on them as you want, but I need a power grid, of course, to fit them. And then, if you look at these modules, I'm not expecting a fight. It would be unfortunate if I were to be in a fight, but I want more diagnostic systems to at least, or other capacitor regen stuff in the low slots to, regen that stuff as fast as possible. So we can just go with let's see. We have not these ones. These do decrease the amount of shield boosting locally, but as you can see, I have no shield boost, so I'm going to put the cap power relays in there. And as you can see by the capacitor recharge rate, it pretty much increases that really, really good. So um, I've just, I'm not going to show this to you with a live demonstration, sadly, because I don't want the risk. But how you can do this is you fly your Cynopilot to the system. You make at least two bookmarks. You make one bookmark where the Cynopilot needs to cyno, and you need to make a like a location for your uh, capital ship to warp to and be safe. So you could also, I mean, looking at this fitting, uh, we want to warp off quickly actually. We could just go a little bit nuts, remove these, uh, put cap recharges in here, remove these with, and just put inertial stabilizers in it to drop the, I think it dropped, yeah, it dropped like almost half from 30 seconds to 17. You can go even further than that and just drop it significantly. And we've added these cap rechargers that will passively, you know, recharge the capacitor. So um, you make the you could also fit a prop mod, of course, for 10 seconds. You can do that too. If you want to do that, I think you'll need at least. I don't know if the Phoenix can do it with a 50 mn. Maybe you need maybe you need like a 500 or something. But I've never done that before, so I don't really know. But um, you just cyno in the ship, and then you as the capital pilot, you warp off to the second bookmark, which is is a long way from where your cyno is, and then you just sit there and you cloak up, and then just check a little bit what's going to happen next, because you don't know if people see your cyno up, and they are, if there's a cyno up in the system, like if there's a force recon up with a cyno, then people know that there's capital ship nearby and they'll go start hunting, and you don't really want that. So just cloak up, wait there, see what happens. If stuff goes sour and there is a fleet of people or a single person coming in, safe log your capital ship, and you should be like well away from where your cyno is, so you'll have at least 30 seconds that's needed to safe log. And otherwise, just uncloak and use these cap boosters, and put your capacitor up to at least the 75% again, maybe just even to 100 if you're able to. Do it as fast as you can. You've basically made a special travel fit for your capital ship at this moment, because this is not really an effective combat ship anymore. It's just made to be efficient at jumping from one place to another, and you just carry the entire combat fit inside of the cargo, so you can refit it later. And that's how you go about that. Um, is that dangerous? Yeah, sure. That is pretty dangerous. Is it doable? It sure is doable. If you just be sensible about it, set up the bookmarks, have your carrier or dreadnought or whatever warp off instantly, uh, and cloak up, and then you're pretty decently safe. And then you can just go to wherever it is that you want to go. Side note though, for people that want to move super capital ships like supercarriers and Titans, there are groups in the game that will make notes of every super capital pilot out there and the cyno pilots that they use to move their ships, and they will track them with in-game tracking services that you can, for instance, use at level 4 mission agents, and they'll just try and figure out patterns and try and see if they can predict when you will be somewhere. And if you are jumping your super carrier someplace, they will follow you. So be sensible about those. They're very, very expensive. I think they're about 30, 40-ish billion ish a piece, a super carrier, unfitted, I think. And then Titans go up to, I don't know, I think 200 billion actually, 30 to 40 billion. And Titans are about 200 billion without fit, somewhere like that. Don't really know the exact numbers, but they're high. Um, so yeah, be really, um, be really, really, really sensible about moving ships that are that size. I mean, a jump freighter is kind of, I don't want to say safe because you still need to be sensible about things, but there's less risk because, it can dock at any structure. It's safer to move around. The jump fatigue timer is going to be less. I think we're down at half of the jump fatigue timer at the moment, and yeah, so we had an hour uh, when we did all these jumping. And even now, if we want to jump more, it's gonna gradually take more and more and more time to go places, and you'll be able to jump more with the jump freighter and the Rorqual, and less with big ships like normal capital ships. So you know, be sensible about it. And if you don't trust it, don't do it. Plan it for a different day. Just dock up and try again tomorrow. Uh, Good times to do jumps if you're able to are also just before downtime. Why that is because your cyno needs a certain amount of time, to cycle down, like a 10 minutes or 5 minutes. If you do it just before downtime, then you'll have the cover of that the server is going down and people that are not able to log in to be able to, get your cyno safe again. And also, uh, your ship, because there there are places that people will be hunting capital ships all day. If it's like a system that's really well visited, people will actively hunt there. So but otherwise, nobody's gonna go hunting. I don't. Yeah, this is of course me being. Um, don't take me up on my word, but less people will likely hunt your capital ship 2 minutes before downtime in a random backwater nullsec system. So use that to your advantage. And if you are trying to move really expensive stuff, like if there's also, yeah, also if you're like using your jump freighter and you want to like I don't know if you got 100 billion ISK in your jump freighter, which is, I don't know if you should do that, but you can, then use downtime also. Be sensible. Um, Uh, that's basically it. The class took a little bit longer than I thought it would be. I think we're almost at 2 hours. I have shown you, I think, everything that is to know about Cynos and jumping. So if we quickly go back to that, just quickly, not to go back to everything, but you know, there's a couple different types of cynos that you can use. You got the ones for, you got the industrial cyno, you got the covert op cyno, and you got the normal cyno. Uh, Industrial cyno meant for jump freighters and the Vorqual. They can use, primarily they can use that one. Oh yeah, there's actually really, really nifty um, image being put into the chat. Of course, that tells you what Cynos do and which ships you can use or whatever. So please look at that. Um, covert Cyno meant for covert ops ships, black ops battleships, cloaky haulers like the blockade runners. Um, then you got a normal Cyno, which can only be, you can only use that on Force Recon ships. You can Cyno in capital ships. You can actually also use a normal Cyno to jump in a jump freighter. You can, but the downside of that is that you'll have to use a Force Recon ship, which is like 200-ish mil, 2 to 400-ish mil ship instead of your, I don't know, your 10 million-ish Venture, which can also use an Indy Cyno, which the thing can also jump to. So Ventures are better for jump freighters. You know, the timer is longer. The cycle timer is 10 minutes instead of 5. But trust me, please use the Ventures for the jump freighters. It's not worth losing a Force Recon for a jump freighter. Um, yeah, so a couple different ships can, light Cynos. Venture can light Indy Cyno. Industrial ships can light Indy Cynos. Force Recon can use the normal one. Your Force Recon is, covert ops cloak able, so it can also use a covert ops cloak. Anything with, um, yeah, I think most ships that can fit a covert ops cloak can also use the covert ops Cyno. Um, you know, how you do that? Use the tactical overview. Check to see that your sphere is not colliding with stuff. Um, Otherwise, if the ship cynos in and it collides with the structure, it's going to get bumped out, and you'll end up far, far away from the docking wing if you're not cautious about it. So please check that. Put the pilot on watch list. But the watch list is really good practice actually. Just right click there and say jump to. Don't right click the capacitor because you'll accidentally end up jumping towards a cyno beacon that might not be a cyno beacon that's friendly to you. They might be waiting there and poof is your ship. It's gone. Um, yeah, and then just keep an eye on that fatigue timer. Use dotlan. It's never wrong. It'll always show you the correct path to jump to. Use that to plan in. You can do it like it's like a Google Maps kind of thingy. You can put in extra midway stops as well. If you don't trust the output that it gives you, you can just say, no, I don't want to jump to that system. I'm going to jump to this one in between, and then it recalculates the route, and it's absolutely fantastic tool. Use that to your advantage. Keep an eye on the jump fatigue timer. If you're doing jump freighter runs, please let your jump fatigue timer go sub 10 minutes and then jump again and then sub 10 minutes and jump again. And that way the build up is not going to be as big as that you're just going to wait out that jump reactivation red timer and keep jumping, and gradually you'll end up in a situation that you'll have to wait 30 minutes before between each jump, and it's bad, or at least it's inconvenient. um yeah, that, and of course, take care and don't be me, and don't please learn from these two examples. So number one, uh, don't uh, jump your carrier or whatever towards a structure that you cannot dock towards. If you want to do that, if there's uh, uh, nothing in the system where you can dock in, please just use the example that I've just given you with the Phoenix. Put a travel fitting on it, put a cloak on it, and go to a safe spot, cloak up, and wait there. That is the best way to go about it, and not just try and anchor on a structure that you cannot dock in. That is the last resort. So please don't do that. And yeah, like the example for the jump freighter, don't be naive and don't if there's somebody else there on grid or even in system, don't jump. Just wait. It's not worth it. Any aside from maybe some bomber frigates, which are of course a lot less expensive, but anything that is even remotely the size of a capital ship is extremely expensive, like jump freighters, 10 billion ISK. At the time, if you look at this Chimera kill mill, at the time I could buy a carrier for 1 billion ISK. Those times have passed. If I look at I have just jumped a Nidhogger with one of the examples. The Nidhogger I'm flying at the moment is 6.3 billion ISK. You don't want to lose that. I can replace it. It's not that. Another good quote in Eve: "Never fly something that you cannot afford to lose," which is really correct. Even if I could lose a jump freighter, it would be very unfortunate. I could replace it, but I'd rather not. So be sensible about all of these things. Um, and if it's not comfortable for you, don't jump. So yeah. Um, are there any more questions? Um, please just, you can just speak up or you can type in the chat. I'm also always good with answering questions. So now's the time. Please, please flood me with questions. I'm not seeing anybody type in the chat channel. I'm not hearing anyone speak up. So that to me that means that I've most likely um, done my job, and that everyone is either full of knowledge now or they're just fatigued, jump fatigued, hopefully. Silly joke, but yeah. So yeah, if there's anything more that you want to know, just send me a Discord message or an in-game email to Serena Anderson, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. So with that, I'll stop the recording. Thanks a lot for joining.